and we are ready for our next run, which is going to be a race of ultra kill P% between Cynk and Haze. Over to you and good luck.
Oh. Ultra kill. Satisfied.
Yep, I'm
Really
ready.
gotta have me do the countdown.
The countdown is only fair.
All right. We all ready?
Yep.
All right. 3, 2, 1, go.
Something you'll notice right away is that this game just gets going immediately.
This is a fast ass. Yeah, it's a very fast game.
It's very quick. And there's going to be a lot of weapons and a lot of movement, and none of it's going to make sense, and that's okay.
Yeah, we'll try and do our best to explain everything, but a lot of it's going to be talking about what the runners are doing right now, and like who's ahead of who if someone has a really good strat. Because most of the time, we're not going to have enough time to explain things. Like,
Right.
Haze just did a projectile boost to kill those 2 strays there where you shoot your shotgun bullets, and that was barely even noticeable. There's a whole lot of coin tricks as well that are going on.
The coin tricks especially shine in boss levels. That we don't have time to explain this, but Haze is first one out of 0-1. 32 is really good.
Yeah. Alright, but they both load into 0-2 about the same time, it looks like, so I guess loading, it's not loading
Jumps
screen
it out.
advantage for sake. Okay.
Okay.
Both of them doing their own variations of the coin strat in that room where you hit every single coin and then also Knuckle Blaster the Filth with the explosion on the red arm.
It's interesting to see the slight variance in the style here. I didn't realize there was a variation to be had, actually.
Yeah, I mean, they both have the exact same time, and both those runners are doing a nuke right now where you shoot a core with the malicious rail cannon, and it does a huge explosion, just kills all the like lesser enemies really easily,
And-
clears that entire room instantly.
They have the almost identical times for that room. They had
Yeah.
0.1 difference in that level. It should be mentioned that these are the top 2 P% speedrunners on the board right now. Cynk currently holds the world record. Haze is not very far behind.
Yeah, it's like a 20-second gap, so these are both like very, very good runners. It could go either way.
These are the best in Ultra Kill. It's pretty good to say.
Yeah. And
I
he's
think we're
actually heading
into-
0-3 right now, which is surprising because this is kind of Sync's level. He has the IL record and he caps it by like a full second on the board. But he's really nailing everything, able to get out in just 33 seconds.
Ooh,
There we
little
go.
exit botch there. But
Yeah, it
Cynk,
happens.
I think Cynk missed one of the shots there because he's going to end up with like a 39 or so. That is
Yeah.
not what you want to see in a level like that. Still very good by like basically any other standard than this one.
Yeah, like that's a really, really good time. It's just that these are the very best runners, so like most of these times that are considered untouchable for most people are like normal.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
Haze is going to get almost sub 20 in 0-4.
Yeah.
And if those
Also making
damn
good work
filth
of
died
0-4, it looks
for
like.
Cynk, then it would have been sub 20.
Yeah. He's
We see
opting to
Haze-
switch to nails for 0-5 here, which is a little bit more consistent for the boss kill. It's an older strategy. It's a little bit slower, but it's much nicer if you know what you're doing. And it looks like Sync's going to use saws instead, so we're going to see a couple of different kills here.
It's very interesting that Haze would willingly take the time loss of switching to nails, but it is also a very consistent strategy, whereas Cynk will have to deal with a little bit of RNG on these serve kills.
Yeah. Looks like both of them had about equivalent kill times, though, and Haze is out of Prelude.
And Cynk is not far behind. Cynk actually gained a little bit on that level, if anything. And it's
Yeah.
the first load into 1-1.
Computer hardware advantage.
No, Cynk is ineligible now.
Skill advantage, actually, that's what I meant.
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
Yeah.
1-1 is a very movement-heavy level. It is very difficult to do everything consistently here because of all the odd ends and corners, but we see these runners doing it very masterfully right here.
Yeah, both of them have had record times in this level. I don't know who has it right now, probably Haze, but...
Probably Haze.
Yeah. This is like... Oh,
that's a pretty big blunder from Cynkcaj. That might allow Haze to come in.
Yeah. I was going to say, though, the limbo levels here, because we just saw the prelude layout, the limbo levels are very different. They're much more spread out and like large, whereas the prelude levels are really tight movements. So this is a pretty different field, but both of them have pretty much mastered all these levels anyways.
40-second times for P% is absolutely absurd. For reference, my PB is a 57, so it's not even a contest. But Haze with a 42 in 1-1 just kind of off the cuff like that is pretty insane.
Yeah.
In 0-2, we're going to be introduced to this new enemy called the Street Cleaner, which is the bane of a lot of speedrunners because they can go very poorly very quickly if you don't know exactly how to deal with them in that scenario.
Yeah, they dodge all of your projectiles, and pretty much the best way to kill them is by doing a coin shot that'll target their fuel pack and blow them up. But sometimes, if you don't have the coin in a way where you can see that fuel pack, it just won't kill them.
There you see the explosions.
Yep, Cynkcaj got everything right. He's out in 36 seconds. Looks like Haze is going to be out at the same.
Similar time. 1-3 is a great level because it has a little featured, little Easter egg to another game. It's the soap. It will one-shot any enemy at the cost of you have to be sure to hold it the entire time.
Yeah. It used to be that if you punched with it, you would immediately throw the soap and you would just lose it, but now with the whiplash, you hold it the entire time, so you're able to go through the entire level just killing everything with the soap. The only caveat to that is that you have to get enough style in the level, so you're using different kill methods, like you can see Cynkcaj doing an overpump on the right there to kill all the filth, and using a coin here as well. Because if you don't get enough style, there's nothing you can do, you have to reset.
If the soap does not give any style. It's worth noting that Cynkcaj actually currently holds the world record in 1-3, and we're seeing some of that extra practice that he's had in this level pay off. Haze struggling a little bit with that one arena.
Yeah. And Cynkcaj actually doing a really modern strat here by shooting that over saw and like shooting explosions into the ceiling that look like they don't do anything, but they actually trigger some spawns early, so it's really nice. Saves just a little bit of time, and that's a perfect room. Wow.
That could not really have gone better for Cynkcaj, I don't think.
Yeah, that's like genuinely the best you can get. But misses the oversaw. It should be fine though. Yeah, he's able to get it out anyways.
It works out in the end.
Yep.
And then Cynkcaj's gonna be coming up on the big boss here in a moment. After he finds his way through this maze.
Yeah.
And here's the big boss. It actually has the second most, or well, third most now with P2. Third most health in the game, but speedrunners don't really care too much. And it just dies.
They're not going to sugarcoat it.
The parry for style. Oh, he's not going to sugarcoat it.
Only $5.
127. That is insane for off the cuff.
It used to be that if you got anything under 130, you were just a god, and now you're just getting that in a full game run.
and Cynkcaj just does it casually.
Yeah. And now, okay.
Oh,
that was that boss, V2, you can punch coins into it before the health bar displays while the cutscene's going, and you can just insta-kill a boss before it's able to do anything, and Cynkcaj just does the kill instantly.
V2 isn't really a boss fight, it's more of a suggestion.
Yeah.
But here we're moving into the Lust layer, and this is very well known for being kind of strange to run for P% because all the enemies are in very weird spots. 2-1 especially specializes in verticality, which is not something you are exceptionally good at in this game in a lot of scenarios.
The big thing is that the enemies often like to walk away or just not be in the places you need them to be, and it's easy to miss kills in this level. Like Cynkcaj right now, he's one behind, and that often happens right there with the schism that goes on the pad. But
especially in that section. Haze now catching up into the Lust layer, and hopefully she will deal with the bridge a little bit better. Because Cynkcaj did have to deal with a enemy RNG of going onto the bounce pad, which will make them basically impossible to kill for a small time because you don't know where they are.
Yeah. You have to do different. You can't just rely on the usual setups. You have to go out of your way to kill them, which gets really annoying. But for a full game run, it's not so bad.
A 51 is not so bad for a full game run.
Yeah. Cynkcaj's on the 2-2 right now. The gimmick with this level is that there's little, like, power things that you have to shoot, and then when you destroy them, the doors will open. So there's 3 per section. There's going to be 2 sections that have them. And just immediately getting out of that first room. That first room can be really problematic because a lot of the enemies don't like to show up where they need to. Same thing with this room, but Cynkcaj is kind of getting everything to line up. Not those street
It's
cleaners,
lined up
though.
very well, and you see there the street cleaners doing their little dodge maneuver and accidentally YOLOing themselves off the cliff.
Works really
is-
nicely for speedrunners.
Which it works out in the end. We're not going to complain too much.
Yeah.
This is the part in the game where you're supposed to unlock the rail cannon. I think Sync missed a kill here.
Oh. Oh.
Ooh.
Oh, this is bad for Sync. Oh, yeah, no,
that's
that's a reset. And now they're back to pretty much
You're not
equivalent
allowed
times.
to
Haze is
die
now
on
ahead
people that run.
again for the first time in the run.
That does allow Haze to catch up, but now I think Haze does have a very slight lead. Yes, she is completely clear of that first room. Sync has that. Sync is clear of the first room too. Oh, that is insane.
Yeah, no. Haze also nailing the strat for the stair climb right there. Gonna be all good into this room. Yep, does the whip pull to kill that enemy while charging the overpump, and Haze is into the last room with all kills. Alright.
Almost missed one
All
there.
right. Yeah, but Sync's not far behind. He's about to get in there, gonna do the same overpump. But Haze is making quick work of this last section, because both of them have run this level as an IL, like, a pretty decent amount. So they're both very, very good at it. It could go either way, honestly, even
It
out of
really
this
could.
level.
There is, ooh, very nice serve, insta-kill there. And the difference in rooms for that inside of the house, that's interesting to see, because Haze opted to use a sharpshooter and then saws, and Sync opted to core snipe, which is just an interesting difference in strategy there.
Yeah, just shooting the core while it's in the air does a little bit of a bigger explosion. It's a little bit nicer to clear out rooms, because you don't have to rely on other explosions that you have to charge up longer. Works out really great.
Here we're into the first level with water in it in the game. You get a very slight feel for water physics here, being basically zero gravity as opposed to water, but we'll expand on water physics later.
Yep.
For now,
For now,
these
it's just a
two
little sneaky.
are just going ham in this crusher room.
Yeah, that room, you can make pretty quick work of it. As long as you have rail, you just nuke it and you're all good to go.
We're also introduced to the Mind Flayer enemy, which can be problematic for speedruns. You have to time an explosion just right to get it to hit all of its projectiles into itself to insta-kill it.
Yeah, it's not their first time, though. They're going to probably hit most of these. There's a couple that are really hard to hit, but most of these have setups. Oh, looks
Haze
like
didn't miss
Haze
that
didn't
one,
miss
but
that one,
Sync missed it too.
Well, yeah. Maybe, I don't know, nerves.
Both
Alright, both went on
sub-minute.
2-3 at like the same time.
Ooh.
Oh, okay. Sync doing the mid-run color compression change to do a lineup out here. So in this level, there's an out of bounds that skips the introduction to the hand. Because you're going to see a big boss in this level, and you have to fight its hand in the hallway, but if you go out of bounds, you can skip all of that just fine. And they both have lineups for it that they're doing, and they're going to run into a loading zone, and then they're just going to get into the level. Both of them nail it.
That is actually a very difficult trick to pull off, and the fact they both did it first try rather effortlessly is pretty cool to me. I think that's pretty awesome.
Yeah, that's like a huge choke point in runs. If you aren't very good at that, or if you're just YOLOing it, you can pretty much just kill a run if you're on record pace.
And we're also here
Oh.
introduced to very large boss. Haze did not spawn in the trigger properly. Gonna lose a little
Yeah,
bit of
that-
time there.
Yeah, but Haze also nails the kill, but they both do.
Sync gets the kill, but also has to readjust his settings a little bit. It's gonna be basically dead even going out of 2-4.
Yep, just a 2-second difference.
Going into 3-1, this level has one section in it particularly that is very strange. Mind the yellow, that's acid. It will damage you if you touch it. It's not an insta-kill, but it will damage you, so you have to kind of keep that in mind.
Yeah. Oh, Sync has
Ooh,
to reset
Sync.
a 3-1, accidentally
Really-
whips the rocket.
Oh, that's painful.
Yeah. It happens. And Haze doing the same kill that Sync was trying to do. Looks like it works out better for her. Alright, now
The
Sync's
room
ahead
coming
1-2.
up
No,
with,
Sync's
after
ahead.
these 3 Serbs, which are just going to die to 2 rockets each, or should. The first 2
They do,
do, and then
yeah.
we're going to use saws. And this room coming up is probably the hardest part of 3-1, because there are so many triggers scattered about a maze-like stairway, and you have to hit them all correctly.
Yeah, it's really easy to, if you don't know where these triggers are, or if you just randomly miss one without realizing it, it's really hard to find out what you missed because the room's very dark and you have to really know where everything is, otherwise the entire run can just go really wrong. But Haze gets out of there just immediately.
That is very, very good from Haze. Sync doing pretty good himself. Seems like he may have missed something.
Yep. Alright, Haze nails the insta-kill on all 3 Malfaces there. Nice.
That is...
Into the last room.
Wow.
Haze is 2 rooms ahead right now. This is pretty good for her.
This is boding well for Haze. Let's see how Sync does with the Malfaces. having to be very careful because he's very low on health going in to fight that other Malphase. Doing an unfriendly pullet.
Yeah. Haze was a little sloppy on that last room strat because some of the enemies lived that were supposed to be insta-kill, but it looks like it all worked out in the end.
Here we're into the 3-2 boss fight for Haze. This is the first encounter of Gabriel. Going for the P% out of bounds.
It's pretty standard to go for that out of bounds because it just saves a ton of time, and if you have practiced it before, it's very consistent. And I don't know if Haze switched to nails, but...
I don't recall her doing such a thing. She kept a very noticeable lead. She still has saws.
Okay, yeah, so that's going to be maybe... Actually, it's going to work out just fine. Yeah,
it works out
all
because
you have to do is make game in
back.
phase 2, and then you just throw some stuff in, and you're done. Yep, 28 seconds out of 3-2.
That is not bad at all. And here we do allow the runners to skip a little bit of a lore cutscene here. It's just a convenience for the verifiers, for the runners, for the viewers.
Yeah, otherwise you have to click through a bunch of text for like 30 seconds. No one wants to do that.
Yeah, no, it's kind of boring. Here in 4-1, we're going to be introduced to a new enemy called the Virtue. It is a ball of light, more or less. You will see it here in Haze's screen. It's this thing that just immediately dies.
Yep. They take extra damage from the rail, and they will instantly die to an overpump explosion, and pretty much everything that exists in this game has methodically been like figured out how to kill it instantly, so yeah, even though these virtues are supposedly really healthy and most people will take a good bit to kill them, they're nothing when you're speedrunning this game.
That applies to most enemies, to be fair.
That does.
But especially virtues, which aren't supposed to be that fragile, but are anyway. And here we're going to see an advanced strat from Haze where she not only tries to kill everything in one shot with that explosion, but also boost herself through to the end to skip to the end door. That way it loads in early, and we can leave the level just that much sooner.
Yep, and then we have the very inconsistent room, where if you're running for the record on IL, it's really bad, but in full game, you can basically just throw stuff around, and eventually these Serbs will spawn, but it looks like not yet. Haze has to kill just a couple things. Alright, there we go. Now, there we go.
Got a little close there.
Yeah, almost actually died.
I was going to say, Haze is also very close on style, but it looks like she managed. They're clearing it about the same time. Cynkcaj gets a very slight jump on Haze.
Yeah, Cynkcaj actually threw the level 10 seconds faster.
That last room is very RNG dependent due to just how many enemies are there in a maze-like structure.
Yeah. But yeah, it looks like Cynkcaj's ahead once again in the 4-2. This is a very open world style level. It's the only one in the game that's like this right now. And you're also introduced, well, you did see it in 4-1 as well, the dual wield power-up, where you basically just grow more arms. There's quite a few in this level, so you're going to see a lot of arms on the screen.
You're going to see some unnatural things humans were not meant to see.
Oh, yeah.
It's perfectly fine.
Yeah.
Alright, we're going to see 4-armed V1.
Yeah, provided everything goes well, there's going to be a boss that has a ton of health that just gets melted in about 1 second, if everything goes right and they get the setup.
That was oddly in sync of them to just overpump boost like that.
Yeah, they're both right about at the same point in the level.
Haze missed a slight boost jump, but it's easily reconcilable, I think.
Yeah, with this level as well. There's a couple of extra kills in it with those secret enemies they both went up for with the red secret. It gives you extra health, and there's also some Malphases that spawn, but they just immediately kill them, and you can avoid doing another fight that takes longer by doing that. And they, of course, both opt for it because it's so much faster. And now we're going to see the boss kill from Cynkcaj. And there you go.
There it goes. That thing is supposed to have a lot of health.
Yeah. That thing usually takes forever to kill.
There is a canonical insta-kill. Well, canonical might be the wrong word. But you're supposed to drop him in a built-in pit to insta-kill him, but speedrunners find that disturbing.
It takes too long.
It's a time loss.
You know, we have a way of immediately killing this thing, but it's the intended way, and that's just going to take too long.
And if it's intended, it's going to take too long. That's the general rule. And here we're going to be in the 4-3 dark room. 4-3 is a bit of a bane for speedrunners. This is a large reset point, in my opinion, because the style requirement is rather tight. The last arena and the arena they're both currently in can both go very wrong, just completely randomly.
I think for really good runners, that room isn't much of an issue, but the last room still kind of is. It was changed recently, so it requires less style to clear this level with a P rank. But even then, since that room has so many enemies, it's super efficient to just soap everything. So the runners have to be really conscious about what weapons they're using to make sure they maximize style into this room.
Especially here,
this room with Cynkcaj.
Cynkcaj is very low on style and going to try for the soap anyway, it appears. And Haze has a little bit more style going into this room, and is not going to go for the soap. Not going for soap is a time loss, but it also does guarantee you hit your style requirement more or less.
Yeah, it's okay if you lose time, but get all the style. It's better than having to reset the entire level. Because even if you if you don't get all the style, there is one thing you can do. You can fight a secret boss in this level to get the remaining style. But having to do that in a run is just a massive time loss, and it's not worth it.
It's at least 30 seconds, if not more. Cynkcaj really desperate for the last about 700 style or so.
Yeah, he needs just a little bit more style. I don't know if he's going to be able to manage it. Oh,
no.
He has to fight the secret boss. And Haze, that's a huge jump for her.
This is going to be a solid... This is going to be a gap for Haze.
Yeah,
Cynkcaj
it's
will
like
have
a
his
full
work
minute
cut out
lead that
for him.
she's going to get from this. Alright, on the 4-4 here, this is the same boss fight we saw in 1-4, but it's a stronger version of it. The thing is, every boss in this game gets melted by coins. So Haze is just going to punch a coin over and over, and that immediately takes V2 to phase 2, where V2 is going to run out on this roof. But again, these are speedrunners. It's going to immediately die. Alright. And Cynkcaj is fighting the mysterious Druid Knight, and that is... Okay, he's at his style requirement, he just has to kill the boss and be done with it.
And
so
Druid Knight
that
is
goes
a
well
bit
for him.
elusive.
Yeah.
And I could explain how that coin whatnot worked that Haze did, but that would also take me like 10 minutes. So I'm just not going to do that.
Coins give power to one another, and coins give power to one another, and if you throw one and then shoot it and then throw another one, that new one that gets thrown will get all of the power from the old one without like trying to target an enemy if you time it right. So you get all of the power, and you can just keep chaining it and adding more power. It's called dead coining.
Here we're going to see the continuation of the water theme in 5-1 in first level in Wrath. You're going to be basically anti-gravity for a very large chunk of the level. And we're also introduced to a new enemy called Sentries, which take a very long charge time, but they will hurt if they hit you.
Yeah, they're also very healthy despite what they look like. So speedrunners have a lot of different ways of killing them. I don't really know which ones Haze does, but
I guess we'll find out soon enough.
Yeah, if you don't know what you're doing, they can actually eat a lot of time just because it takes so long to kill.
They tank and overpump to the face where virtues cannot, which is that's just how much more health they have.
Yeah.
And here we see Cynkcaj wrapping up 4-4 in 45 seconds. That's very good.
Good time.
Starting to make up some of that time loss he ate in 4-3.
Yep. Now we have both runners in Wrath here.
This room that Haze is in specifically can be a really weird point because you have a Virtue and a Mind Flayer spawning simultaneously. And if you don't do it right, they will mess up your day.
Yep. This is Haze, though. She's got it.
Haze handled it very well. And has already met style. That's not a concern anymore.
Oh, yeah. This level actually does have style issues, but it looks like Haze is just way ahead, so it's not going to be a concern.
Cynkcaj did miss that coin, which is unfortunate. So he has to kill that Virtue in a very different manner.
Yeah.
And these are these
trying to
fabled
point
sentries.
at the sharpshooter there. Okay, there.
That won't work.
No. But if it did.
If it did, that would be pretty cool, I think.
Yeah.
Haze went for the insta-kill on the sentry, but the sentry did not spawn in yet. That's a bit of time loss.
It's not that bad.
It's
really
not so bad. And Haze going to get out with what appears to be a sub 2 minute.
Very nice. Yeah,
Very
Cynkcaj
nice
might be able to make some time up here. He is very good at this level, but it is a very long level, and if you make mistakes, it can just get more and more drawn out.
This level 5-2 that Haze is in will hurt you for touching that water. As you see, she just took like half her health. And also it has very few kills. It was a very big movement level in this.
Yeah. This level also introduces idols, and the way idols work is that they're little statue that make an enemy blessed, and when an enemy is blessed, it cannot die. So you have to destroy the idol first. And yeah, there's a filth down there, but it's going to die immediately to that saw setup that Haze did.
And here the idols are locked in cages, so you have to kill all the other enemies here first while surviving an idled enemy. And here we're gonna have.
You wouldn't even know it looking at Haze though.
Yeah, looking at Haze, you wouldn't even know it. It's just over.
Yeah, yeah.
And here we're gonna have one more Virtue. Very well done from Haze. And Cynkcaj kind of balling in that last 5-1 room if that sentry cooperated.
Yeah. All right.
And accidentally waste the insta on a filth of all things. That is
Yeah.
a very painful moment.
In this room here that Haze is in, you're supposed to get both skulls to get onto the boat, but we don't need to bother with that. The first one raises the boat, so we don't grab the second one, but in that room, there's 2 floors, and you wouldn't even realize that there's enemies on the second floor, because Haze is actually looking up and killing them with the overpump through the floor, and that's why she was able to clear it so fast. Now we're on to the ferryman fight, which can go very wrong sometimes, but it looks like Haze got it out of phase 1 pretty quick.
Phase 2 is also possible ending for 5-2 because the ferryman is very sporadic. He will just kind of move.
I think not so much, honestly. Phase 2 is where it goes pretty easy.
No,
if you
the
know
work
what you're
was kind of
doing.
cut out there.
Yeah.
131. That's pretty
It's a
good.
really good time. Alright.
It'd be really funny if Sync went for the ferryman insta, but I don't think so.
No, no one's doing that.
No,
That's
no
not
one's
a
doing
good
that
idea.
line one.
Yeah. Alright.
5-3. Now, there's a running joke in the community between 5-3 and 6-1, which is harder to run. They're both
Like
very
more
long
annoying.
levels. They both have style issues. Haze is on the side of 5-3 is harder, but ironically has the world record in 5-3.
Yep. The other thing with 5-3 and 6-1 are the 2 longest levels in the game. 1-3 is one of the long ones as well, but it looks like it's not very long compared to these because they go on for a very long time.
5-3 does just keep throwing rooms at you, and thematically it's very cool because you'll see soon that the ship flips upside down. You play it in reverse, basically. But it also has these weird arenas in it where the things just kind of spawn in a very different order. They just don't line up very nicely.
Yeah, it makes it really difficult for speedrunners because a lot of the time you want to have setups that are very consistent and you want to know where everything's going to be and assume that it'll work every single time. But for 5-3, that's just not the case most of the time. So you have to really rely on your instincts if you're doing a full game run, especially.
It doesn't just run for that arena, it runs for this next one, which grants you a dual wield power-up. This one is also very kind of weird to deal with. Things come in like 3 or 4 different waves.
I don't know. I think Haze has this down. It's pretty methodical what she's doing right now.
It can be difficult. I think she got it though. Looking good.
Yeah.
I will comment that Sync got a 120 in 5-2, which did save about 10 seconds on Haze. So Sync
Getting
is
some
catching up a little bit, but is there enough time?
Yeah. All right. Honestly, it could go either way. I think
it's still in the air.
Provided no major resets happen, I think Haze should have this though.
And
But we'll
the
see.
next level that we're going to be going through, 5-4, that could be very difficult or very good, depending on who gets what here. Because it is a
Yeah.
very RNG-dependent boss. He has 2 attacks it can do, but one of them is very good for speedrunning, and one of them is very bad.
Yeah. If you get the one that shoots projectiles, you're able to reflect projectiles pretty easily with explosions. Oh, but it looks like Haze actually missed a kill back here. Oh, the Cerberus
It
lived.
did. The Cerberus lived.
Okay, got the Cerberus finally.
That's
Still has a
uncommon.
lead against Sync. Haze is going to go into 5-4 with probably, I would say, a 50-second lead over Sync right now.
I should mention that 209 or 208. Oh no! That's
Sync
a
dies on
reset
a
for
1 minute.
Sync.
Oh, that is really bad. Yeah, Sync has to
Oh,
reset the
no.
entire level, and now Haze is going to go into 5-4. Let's see what happens here. So I was saying there's 2 attacks that can happen. One of them will shoot projectiles that you can reflect back into it, and it'll pretty much insta-kill it. And it looks like it's going to do it. Let's see if Haze can
It
nail the
does do
kill.
a projectile attack, and if you do
Yep,
enough
and that's
explosion, you just reflect every single ball right back into it, and Haze gets a 17-second 5-4.
It's that easy.
not
If
over.
you don't get that kill, it can be pretty bad, but yeah.
It's not over. 6-1 is still yet. That does have potential for messing up pretty hard as well. But Sync is going to need to really pull it back here.
Yeah, both these players are extremely good at 6-1 specifically too, as in they've both routed it and they both have very good runs on the level. So I'm not really sure.
Ooh.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just thinking about this. I think Haze should have this, unless nerves get to her. Like, this is pretty much this is a race
almost a
winning
foregone conclusion here.
lead. Yeah.
That reset, I think, was the nail in the coffin there. Sync was a little behind, but that reset, oh, that was painful to watch.
Yeah. Comeback is still possible, but it basically just relies on Haze really messing up here while Sync does absolutely everything perfect. So it's basically just don't mess up for Haze right now.
So here we have the aesthetic of 6-1 going to change very noticeably into an outdoor area. And this outdoor area
red.
can be inconsistent at times. Haze had it down pretty well. I think she's routed a bit of this.
Yeah. Big man
I was
nuke
unaware the
gonna
nuke was
kill
used
both
there.
these mal faces that you don't even see on the screen because it's so fast.
And the coins are just gonna absolutely obliterate everything.
Yeah, some enemies do live though. I'm just gonna do some rocket pulls, getting some bigger explosions. When an enemy's in the air and you shoot it with a rocket, it's a bigger explosion. So if you whip it to get it into the air and then blow it up, it does a big explosion that kills everything around it nice and easy. Alright, he's not doing any special strat for this room on 6-1 here, just kind of being consistent.
Haze can
we're
afford to
gonna-
play it a little safe, and this arena here is weird because you have to hit 4 different spawn triggers. Haze does that very well.
Yep, and 78 kills, that's how many you need into this last room. And this is the last room of 6-1. It is possible to mess this up, but you're going to get health back from these hideous masses that spawn here. And provided you just don't mess up, this room is pretty methodical.
And those hideous masses are dead, so as long as there's no very obvious blunder to the sword machine or the Cerberus or something, this is...
Should
oh, that is
be
an
good.
overwhelming amount of style.
Yep, wow, yeah.
And
That's
that
another
is-
thing. This level is known for having style issues, but Haze just overshot it more than enough. And now we're on to the last level, 6-2. And there is a safe kill you can do in this run, but if you mess it up and Gabriel does just kind of mess you up and attack you really fast, you can lose the run. So let's see what happens.
Not to mention that 145-6-1. That is very good.
Yeah. Okay.
We cannot overstate how cracked these runners are.
Haze hits the Haze hits the rail coin punch, but the boss still has some health. Gonna do a coin punch, try and shoot it, doesn't get it, and that's the
That is
kill.
time.
And that's time. Yep,
We
just gonna
just
go
need
to the
Haze
exit, and that's
to-
the end of the run. There you go. All
That'll be
right.
it. Kinda. Yes. You can do it, Haze. I believe in you. Thank you.
And Haze is your champion for this stream. Gets the run. That was a really good run. There was like maybe
was
one reset,
Crazy.
right?
There is a... I don't remember Haze making any noticeable errors, actually.
Yeah, that was pretty good. I guess we'll have to time that and see if it was record. Yesterday, both these runners actually got...
She will complain about that
80
run
record.
later, I absolutely guarantee it.
Oh yeah, these are speedrunners. They're always going to complain about any run, no matter how good it is.
But that... We're going to see Sync finishing up 6-1, 6-2. This should not be very long here.
Yeah, oh, it throws the coin into the chain. It's going to disappear.
The coin is dead. But not a
Yeah.
dead coin. That's a different concept, I swear. We know what we're talking
True.
about. We're professionals.
Oh yeah, I mean, we're definitely competent.
Yeah, we know.
We're on a live
we know.
stream. We know what we're doing.
Clearly.
Totally.
And that is a
Alright,
very
who's-
good rocket mount from Sync. A little bit
Yeah.
ahead of Haze here at this point, I think.
Oh yeah, in terms of like the level itself, definitely.
Yes. Well, okay, that's what I meant, yeah.
Yeah.
I think Haze has already won, but for the sake of
Nah, Haze is going for
Ooh.
a relap right now. In a 0-1.
victory lap.
Victory lap, yeah.
And if
Should do the
I,
sauce
bel-
strat right
I
now.
believe I have my informants telling me Haze got a 24:05,
That's record, isn't it? Or is it a
which would be
23
record
minutes?
by 10 seconds.
Nice.
So world record for you guys. Hope you enjoyed.
On stream, there you go.
24:05.030 is the official time, as I've been informed.
Cool.
Cool. That's all you have to say. Cool.
Cool. The
good.
new current world record holder, ladies and gentlemen.
Ladies and gentlemen.
I swear I said gentlemen. I might not have. I'm sleep deprived.
Alright. Sync's gonna
And
clean up 6-1
Sync
here.
being perfectly fine in this room. Be out not quite sub 2 minutes, but still a very good time. Better than most people will ever get.
2 minutes is like,
I'll say.
that's more than enough for full game. I don't know.
That is more, yeah, it's more than you need.
Yeah.
And here we're going to
All
see
right.
perhaps
No,
a
you're not
fancy
doing
tape
this.
kill?
No.
Sync doing the fancy speedrunning game kill.
Wait for your coins to recharge before you throw them.
No.
No. Okay.
No, it's so over.
No. Okay. Alright, it should be. Oh. You guys always try and do
That
your
is-
fancy
oh,
little
that's-
punches. You could have just 1+3'd.
1+3 does make sense. Trust us. We know what we're
It does
doing.
equal 4. Oh, don't die. No, that's...
And there's
Alright,
Gabe done for Sync.
There we go.
Very good to both of our runners. That is actually still ridiculous, even with any and all blunders. That's still very, very good.
That was probably still top 1 and top 2 times, regardless.
That is still probably a top 2 time.
Yep. All right, but with that,
Yeah,
that's the
concludes
race.
run.
Alright.
Madness.
Very well
Hope
done.
you guys enjoyed it. This is probably the coolest Ultra Kill run I would say in terms of full game, because you have to just shred through everything. So if you didn't
Yeah.
like that, I don't know what to tell you.
No, that P% is known to be very entertaining. The movement's hard, the kills and arenas can be hard, but both of them pulled through very, very nicely. Just
Yep.
good job to both the runners. I'm extremely envious of your skill. Top 2 in the world, ladies and gents. Sorry, ladies and gentle, I should say.
Ladies and gentlemen. All right.
Estimate for Sync is 25-35. That's still really good.
And check speed run.
That is actually still top 2.
Of course.
That is, for reference, third place is currently a 29:47, so 4 minutes down on even Sync's a little bit botched run there.
Yep.
That's just how ridiculous these two are.
Yeah. All right. I don't know what we're doing now.
No, I have
We're all
no
done.
idea after this.
Oh, that one's not as serious, but yeah, Jambot class percent. I guess you'll have to see that for yourself. I'll let you see. I'll let you experience that without.
That's
leading into it.
It's an experience, I tell you what.
Yeah, that was a very nice race of Ultra Kill P%. Marathon record hype. But yeah, that is not all for Ultra Kill for the moment. After this break is going to be Clash % being run by Jambot. And we've had some donations coming during that. Spasmodic gave $50 saying, "Love you all, proud to be part of this event." Pauta Shukru gave $7 saying, "I miss Zoomies, guys." Melissa gave $100 saying, "Great race, great charity." Thanks for the donations. It goes to a truly wonderful cause. This is MDSR Summer 23, raising money for the 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline. Funded by SAMHSA and administered by Vibrant Emotional Health, the 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline is a leader in suicide prevention and mental health crisis care. The 988 Lifeline provides free and confidential emotional support and crisis counseling to people in suicidal crisis or emotional distress 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.